Now, we all know that in today's finance and with our income, we are walking a tightrope in terms of our income and expenses. However, today we're going to be looking at some very unique strategies that will have you running across that tightrope and getting the financial freedom that you ultimately need. Now, today we're going to keep the strategies and the hacks really simple that anyone can do it. As a matter of fact, if I can be doing it and saving thousands of dollars, then anyone can do it, because I'm not really the easiest person to get to adapt certain things, especially when it comes on to cutting spending. So stay tuned while we look at simple, easy, maybe never thought of or strategic hacks that will have you saving thousands and will guarantee your financial success. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Thank you for clicking on this video. I know your time is valuable, so let's dive right in. Now, the first little strategy or hack that we're going to be looking at is to embrace a do-it-yourself lifestyle. Now, adopting a DIY lifestyle is going to save you hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars. Now, especially in the United States and probably other first world countries, technical jobs cost a lot. Whether it be from plumbing to electrical or just simple carpentry, these things can run up a hefty bill because it costs a lot per hour. Therefore, in an age of technology, artificial intelligence, and the explosion of YouTube that has a lot of instructional videos, I would recommend that you learn to do several things on your own. There are certain things around the house that we can take on by ourselves. Whether you're a male or a female, now females, don't think that certain things you cannot get done and only a man can get them done. Because if you bring up certain contents on YouTube or even certain things that you purchase, there is a QR code that you can scan and it shows you a walkthrough process of how to assemble these products. Rather than paying hundreds of dollars for someone to come in, they might even act as if they're taking long to get the job done and charge you hundreds of dollars. You would be surprised how simple it is to fix a simple pipe, to assemble a furniture item that you could be paying hundreds for. So therefore, adopt a do-it-yourself DIY attitude and you could be saving yourself a lot of money. I personally, from I was in college, I eliminated the cost of grooming. Therefore, I bought a shear, a clipper set, and I started giving myself my own haircut. Now, yes, you might be saying that my haircut is easy to do, but I was not always bald. I actually did fades pretty well. I had a mirror at the back, one at the front, and I started to give myself my outline, my lineups, and my fade. And you would never believe the time that I saved, because time is money. Going to the barber in Jamaica was 2 to 3 hours wait, and I could be earning while I was waiting there those 2 to 3 hours. Also, the cost of going to that barber kept on escalating. And I needed my money from college to be spending on other things, whether it be going out and socializing with my friends or buying an extra textbook that I needed or just buying lunch because I did not grow up rich. I saved that money, saved my time, and started giving myself my own haircut. Of course, as I got older, it got easier because I set that thing on one level and give myself the best outline that I could possibly get from anywhere else. Why waste money? Why waste time? And similarly with you, take a look around your house and you might be saying that I don't have the time to do things, but that money that you are spending on these technical things, you could be putting back in your pocket and saving. The next hack is to cut down on your utility costs. Have you ever seen these kids, how they just open the refrigerator, stand there, and then they're trying to decide what it is that they want to eat or drink? I'm guilty of it sometimes, but we need to cut back drastically. I also recommend that you look at the graph, because each of your utility bills, they do have a graph of your usage amount each month, and they sometimes go back as much as 12 months to show you your usage amount and how it has been trending. If you are realizing that there are some spikes at certain times, or you realize it trending up and costing you more, then you need to look at what is causing that. Take a look at, for example, your winter time. It does not have to be that high in terms of your energy cost. Look at the insulation around your doors and your windows to see if it is time that they need changing. Because as air leaks out and it takes more to warm the house, as a matter of fact, not only winter, check it out in summer as well, because if it is that you are not confining and maintaining the temperature within your house, then it is costing you more to maintain the desired temperature that you need. Another option is that several of the utility companies, because everyone is trying to go green, and it actually is a cost saving for them the less that they have to spend on printing bills and sending to you. So some of them will offer you a discount if you decide to go paperless. Set up an email address that you can automatically receive your bills and your receipts and invoices. Another thing is that you will be able to get discount from some suppliers if it is that you set the payments on autopay. Now, I was nervous at the beginning because I was saying, hey, suppose my account does not have the funds in it. But hey, monitor it, set it up on your salary account that you know funds will more than likely be in that account. And once you put on that autopay, sometimes you will save yourself $5 per month up to $10 per month. That's $60 to $120 that you save per year is guaranteed to be able to fill your tank with gas or buy a week or two worth of groceries. So therefore, these simple saving strategies can have you saving hundreds and possibly thousands by the end of each year. The next one is going to be a bit controversial, and it is to utilize public transportation. Now, of course, if you live in certain rural areas where there is no public transportation, then this might not be an option. But if you live in an urban area where there is reliable public transportation, it will cost you less over time if you use public transportation. Look at the associated costs with owning your own vehicle. There is the insurance, licensing, registration, maintenance, oil change, the fuel that you need to put in. It can be significantly more than public transportation. Of course, we like the privacy and the reliability of our own transportation, but hey, if it is that you give yourself a timeline to say, hey, public transportation for this period of time while I save all this money and possibly purchase your car cash when you decide to do so, at least it would remove that car loan expense per month. And if you look at the amount that you have to be paying in interest on that car note, it is significant. So therefore, invest in taking the public transportation for a period or permanently, especially if you live in places like New York, Manhattan, where it is more convenient not to drive. Then take a look at this. Remember, I'm giving you unique ideas that maybe it will be uncomfortable and controversial for a while, but if you do the math, you will realize that you will get significant savings. Hey, before I move on to the other point, it can give you significant health benefits as well, because if you decide that you're going to be riding the bike or walking to work or to the nearby locations instead of owning your own motor vehicle, then those steps that you get in each day and the fitness level that you will attain by riding your bike, it will have significant advantages in terms of your health. Remember, your health is your wealth, and the less that you can spend on health associated costs, then you would have more money being saved in your pocket. So public transportation is a viable option. My next hack to you is going to be plan your meals and shop smart. Now, I've been in the distribution and food sales business for decades, and I know that it is a strategy to have those impulse items nearer to the cash register just before you're about to make your cash transaction. That will have you purchasing more. Have you ever realized in those retail outlets right by the cash register, it is actually a war for space by distributors? We had to be forking out big bucks to be able to have those stands exclusively for us so that we can advertise our confectionery items. And if you look over the decades, the amount of things that are stacked and packed nearer to the cash register has exploded. From beverages, confectionery, sweets, candies, everything is being packed into that area because it is those last minute decisions, those impulsive purchases that will have you spending more. As a matter of fact, it goes even deeper. We have planograms and we have store outlines that has you walking past different high margin products to get to the other commodity low margin items like your rice, flour, sugar, and some of the meats. You have to pass through other products and items that will attract you and have you spending more while you visit the location. How to beat that? Create a list. Stick to your list. It can be on your phone, it can be written, and develop the discipline that once you enter, whether it be a clothing store or whether it be a grocery store, that you stick to what you went for. Have someone assist you. Have your spouse hold you accountable. So if you come home with more items that you intended to purchase, then they can ask you, why didn't you have your list? Why didn't you stick to it? Remember, it is all a plan and all a strategy to get our money out of our bank account and to have you using your credit card more than you should, and then you are left with a debt and much less wealthy than you want to be. My next recommendation is to build an emergency fund, and I got some heat from this in my last video where I mentioned that you should be using your emergency fund possibly for capital for a new venture. I'm risky like that, sometimes unwisely, and I did think about it when I said it, but I said it is something that I have done in the past. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it will not and may not. So, to thine own self, you have to decide what you want to do. But you have to build an emergency fund. Now, you might say that, hey, I hardly have any money, I'm on a tight budget. How do I get to do this? But it's actually a priority. If you should lose your job tomorrow or have a medical emergency, there must be something to fall back on. Now, I recommend that you have anywhere from a 3 to 6 month saving of what your monthly expenses are. And how do you calculate that? Pen to paper. Write down all your expenses. Start with the essentials, then you go to the non-essentials to see how much it is that you need to have to cover all your expenses on a monthly basis. Then multiply that by 3, 4, 5, or 6, and that is your aim. It will have you feeling much more secure, and whatever the amount that you can put to it, don't worry. Not all of us have those exorbitant disposable income after our expenses each month, me included. But what I do is that whatever the amount is, I set it aside and I develop that emergency fund. Because hey, especially if you are the head of the family, or if it is that you have other loved ones like your parents who are dependable on you, then you need to have an emergency fund. Over time, this fund will grow and multiply, especially if you invest the emergency fund into a high-yield savings account or into a certificate of deposit or any other investment product that has it multiplying over time. You will get to the goal faster and will allow you to have peace of mind. Of course, coming from the emergency fund, and I'm not going to deliberate on this too much because I've spent time explaining it in previous videos that I'll be posting on the screen and in the end screen, but it is to create a detailed budget. Put pen to paper. Stop allowing your funds to direct where they go on a monthly basis, but you direct where your funds should be going. Start, of course, with your essential spending, and I would categorize those as your housing, your food, and your healthcare cost. Those are the essentials, and once you have budgeted out, then you will know what is left that you can squeeze into some discretionary leisure spending. Because hey, if it is that you're too tightly wound up in terms of only sticking to your expenses and savings, then you will not have a fulfilling lifestyle and you will become much more frustrated. So target out a small amount towards your leisurely activity, whether it be entertainment or personal care. Then you must have another amount, however small it might be, because we need to be realistic. As I said before, not many of us have this large amount that we can be putting to savings. But the crime is if you do not put any at all towards savings. So once you do the budget and it is pen to paper, black and white, you can clearly see what it is that you're spending, what you can cut back on, and then what you can delegate to leisure and to your savings. And there you have it, simple strategies that you can implement right now to have you walking that tightrope budget much better, regardless of how much you are earning, but it will guarantee you a more financial success in the future. Now, as usual, my friends, if you have found at least one point of this content to be beneficial, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also share it with someone who might benefit. Let's not be selfish as we grow towards our financial success. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.